All
God,
right.
I love how great I look.
You do?
Yeah, just that picture just encompasses me in one photo. You can encompass my whole life in just that photo.
Well,
It's perfect.
that's perfect. In one
So
in one whole stream, dude.
in one whole stream, yes.
I
So
mean,
we
you're
have
angry, you're happy, you're excited,
yeah,
you're
I'm unhinged.
frustrated, but
Yeah,
yet you're hungry all on the same. You know what? That picture is pretty. Actually, now that I
it's
think
pretty
about it,
accurate.
I think that picture's really good. You're
It is. Yeah.
excited, you're
Yes,
frustrated, you're
yes.
happy,
I'm in a
you're
wrestling
mad,
ring. Yes.
you're in the moment. I mean that
Did you
photo is.
see the actual picture that you took it from?
I
I was
didn't expand. I just I just kind of
okay. I was
gave.
I was in a wrestling ring. That's why I was so excited.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
know what? That encompasses you were having a great time, probably is what it was,
Well,
right?
like I said, the only man I would perform maybe sexual acts on or would be Hulk Hogan in order to meet him. So I got a chance to go to Hogan's beach shop when Uwe had his wedding. So
Okay,
my friend Ed and Ed played when I played. He just didn't play, but
okay.
he was my best friend. He was my roommate. We hadn't hung out in years, and we got up early the morning of the wedding, and we went to Hogan's Beach Shop,
Okay.
and they had a wrestling ring in there. And I said, and Ed goes, I'm going in the ring. So immediately he goes in the ring and he gets yelled at. You're not supposed to go in the ring. You have to pay to go in the ring.
Right.
So they got all the, they got all the apparel that they sell. Like most of my apparel's Hulk Hogan related. And they also had, you could go in the ring and you pay $20 and take pictures. And that's if you go on my Facebook page, I have a bunch of pictures of us posing in the wrestling ring, flexing. They gave us a title belt to hold. So it was one of the most fun experiences I ever had
Well,
because
that
yeah, because I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. I love wrestling.
you could have been a
So
professional wrestler.
I always thought that it's actually harder to break into pro wrestling than it is to the NFL. Just so you know.
Right, because of all the stuff they have you do and everything.
Well, yeah, it's right now because there's only two main places where you can work and actually make good money and live. That's part of it. Second is the athleticism it takes. Like I would never have had the athleticism to be a
Jumping
great
around.
technical pro wrestler. I would have had the charisma just to be a great bad guy, a great heel, because I could piss people off like no other. I don't think I ever told you this story. By the way, this is Husky Huddle. We are the best sports program that covers UConn football. Locked On can go lock themselves up. They don't know anything. You're talking to the realest of the real, as Shane would say, the dogs, the guys who actually played football and had success. So we provide the best
Actually got on the
program.
field, not just looked at it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Which is,
We
by the
fought
way,
better.
becoming more and more of a
Yeah, it's
that's a different
passe if you're a
topic for another
player.
time, but
Yeah,
the Madden coach is a new thing, dude. And
if you're passe if you're a player, but if you want the best UConn content, go to the Coach Schuman Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button. We're at 1.06 million, and we're going to get to 2 million. So
That's what I'll do on the image. Put like and subscribe underneath, right?
Yeah, that's what I do, because UConn has to wake up. They have to wake up, because the content we produce can help them in so many ways. They want to grow the C Club. They want money for Bleeding Blue. They want money for the UConn Foundation. Guess what, dumbasses? We have 1.6 million subscribers. Dave gets 70 million views a month. So do you think you can reach people doing things your way? Or do you think listening to an expert who's done it for 20 years would probably work out better for you? So
I think
that's
they know
what
that
angers me.
My guess is they know it.
They're ignorant. Then if they know it and they're not using it, then that's just pure ignorance and stupidity, because we need to make changes in order to survive, for our athletic department to survive into the 2030s, for football to survive, because I love basketball. We all do. The finances from basketball, the NIL money from basketball is not enough to keep to fund the entire athletic department. The money from football trickles down and funds the entire goddamn department. So that's what's so frustrating. And I don't want to see everything we've worked for go for nothing. And we have the best viewership, we have the best subscribers, the best people that watch, and we make a difference in everything we do. So that's all. That's why I get salty, as you like to say, when I go off my rocker, when Steve's off his meds today. That's But yeah, we're the best of the best. You're going to get the best coverage here, and don't forget it. And make sure you subscribe. Yeah, there's 200 people watching right now. That better go up. Yeah, better go up. I'm watching
Look
you.
at that.
Just to me. Yeah, like and subscribe now. That's some good shit right there.
Look at that. Look how I have made. So now we should do this for. Oh, and I'm frozen, so I'm going to come back out. But we should, of course, because you know what happens when I go. I realize what happens. It must be something with StreamYard that like it disturbs the feed when I switch on the tabs, and the internet probably flips to a different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It
No,
flips to a different tab, and it probably distracts it. Because at the same time, I have Instagram Live now all the time when I do our stuff.
Yeah, because you got to do it together, right?
And then that's on my one tab, and then we're on TikTok.
No, I see it. I know we're on everything. Yeah, we're on Twitch, which I couldn't believe.
Yeah, no one watches on Twitch though. I noticed.
I know Twitch is more video.
Maybe we should do an episode where me and you. My son has suggested this, and I'll go off so I can switch.
We're gonna play Madden.
We should play the bowl game
on Madden. On
PlayStation. You have college football or no? You don't have it.
On PlayStation.
You kids, so you don't have you. Do you have PlayStation?
I can easily get access to a PlayStation. Yes.
And get and download the game.
Oh, you download it now? Okay.
Yeah, You just download it.
All right.
And,
I'll play
the game to PlayStation, and
yeah, but I get to be UConn.
Yeah, I'll play North Carolina. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'll kick your ass.
Yeah. Okay. I was a genius.
We'll play it, and we'll just stream it as start gaming.
It'll get a lot of views.
Yeah, I mean I think the only place to really stream it that would probably get the Twitch, and then I watched the whole thing on this
Twitch
yeah, and then YouTube post, so you stream it live, and then automatically saved, and then so the videos on demand. So Twitch is you do good on live,
right?
YouTube with gaming with
Yes.
YouTube Gaming, they make their money post.
Oh, I know they do, because they show you how to like defeat games and
Defeat the
how to
guys
be
and stuff.
successful. It's ridiculous.
My son, that's all he watches, dude. When I play him in Madden, in college football, he just roasts me, dude. He's running plays that I'm like, what the fuck? He runs this reverse pass with Shador. He loves to play with Colorado, of course. So he runs this. He puts Shador in the slot, and he has Travis Hunter out at receiver, and he has the whoever their tailback is take the direct snap, hands it to Shador. Shador throws a bomb to Travis.
Wow.
Yeah, it's touchdown.
Wow.
It's so hard to stop.
Wow.
He had to have gotten that online. He had to have.
Yeah, I'm sure that, one of the YouTube shows told him like the secret play that you can score every time with. There's always one of those that someone's always open or always works. Absolutely.
Dude, he's been bombarding me the last couple of times I play him. Like it's just he's talked shit too. He's dying. Talk shit.
Good.
All right, let me come right back out. So I'm not. Let me come.
All right, we'll have the Steve Cully show for a little while. All right, we are the Steve Cully show. It's time for Blumpkins and Blow. That's all we're going to do for the next hour. Blumpkins and Blow. So if you've ever had an experience and want to talk about, okay, he's back. All right.
Yeah, the Steve Cully show's over.
Yeah, Steve Cully show was over for 2 seconds.
It was on for 2 seconds.
So yeah, when you talk to Maria, see if she'll give you some extra time. So I'll tell you a quick story of you've told some of your stories of debauchery from college. I have an all-time story. Well, I have multiple, but the greatest story from college was, and Maria can confirm this, in 2003, UConn was number 1, or Duke was number 2, and UConn was number 1.
Okay.
One of my best friends from high school, Brian Baslow. Shout out to Brian Baslow. I know you don't watch my podcast, but you should, you prick. I hope your kid's doing well too, by the way. Congratulations. He went to Duke. So no one ever visited him because he lived so far away. So I have a bright idea. I said, this is what we're going to do, because Baslow works for the Duke athletic department. We're going to go to the Duke UConn game. We're going to sit with the Cameron Crazies, and then we're going to disguise ourselves. And then when the game starts, we're going to wear all our UConn stuff and just be a terror. So the girls absolutely loved it and thought we were nuts. Diana gave me her jersey, her practice jersey. Sue Bird, we had her jersey. A couple other players, we had their jerseys. So 3 of my friends, actually no, it was Terry McLowry. I'm saying that live on air. Uwe Sunday, myself, and then a friend of mine, Ed and J Chuck. Ed, who I've told you about, was in the wrestling ring with me. And my friend, Dan Cercelli from high school, one of my best friends from high school, was in the Merchant Marine Academy. He was, it was a senior year. He was stationed. He was at port for the weekend in some strange place in South Carolina or in Virginia, I think. So we picked Dan up and we go to Duke. Now, the Duke ticket policy is students don't have to buy tickets. That's why like they would used to sit outside in tents and wait in line because it's first come, first serve.
Right.
So my friends immediately are furious with me because they're like, we're driving 900 miles and we don't have tickets. I go, no, we wait in line. I go, well, what if something happens? What if, they're like, how could you do this? I'm like, it's going to be fine. So they're pissed at me. We stopped in DC the night before and we stayed with I was a friend of Terry's, and we got absolutely shit-faced drunk on vodka from Russia that came straight from Russia. It was the strongest vodka I ever had. I couldn't see straight. The next day we go to Duke. Everyone's angry because they don't think we have tickets. So my friend Brian, now the way you had to do it, you had to show a Duke student ID. Brian had met Uwe before. I brought Uwe there on our impromptu spring break when we didn't have anywhere to go. So I decided to plan a college visit tour for us. We visited all friends in college, and
Yep.
we visited Brian at Duke. And Uwe loves basketball. Brian was playing pickup basketball with with Uwe, and he elbowed him in the head, split his eye open, and I had to take him we had to go to the infirmary and sit for hours. He had to get stitches. And to this day, he has a scar on his eye from it. And that always reminds him of the Duke trip. But anyway, we go to the game. And like I said, everyone's angry. We get there early. We pregame by playing the beer pong. And then we're trying to get parking. So it was filling up fast. So basically, I stood in the parking space and people were trying to pull in, and I was just shaking my head no. And they drove away quickly. I was wearing a cutoff shirt and drunk and angry. And I think I may have yelled at him. So Brian doesn't know any black people at Duke. He had no black friends. Could not. It took him forever to find someone who was black to get an ID so Uwe could get in the game. So Baslo knew of our plan. He's like, listen, I'll get you in. After that, I don't know you. So we all get in. We also sneak a bottle of vodka in as well, with a bottle of Absolute. And we're sitting, we sit right in the middle of the Cameron Crazies on TV.
Really?
And we're all covered up. We got jackets on, all this stuff. Finally, the game starts. They do the national anthem. The game starts. We rip off our jackets. I got Diana Taurasi's jersey on. My friend's got Sue Bird's jersey on. Someone's got Maria's jersey on. It was madness. And we start cheering for UConn. And then we start drinking more and more. Like Ed we're sitting on the bench. Ed is going underneath and he's making drinks, bartending in the stands. We get completely shit-faced. UConn is up by 20 at halftime. We are heckling the hell out of them. I'm saying, I stood up. I said, I drove 600 miles for this. You guys fucking suck. I thought this was going to be a game. Boy, did I waste my time. You guys at Duke, you're horrible. And I said, if anyone's got a problem, I'll fight you. Anyone want to fight? Let's go. I'll fight every one of you. So how do you think they responded at Duke? Do you think anyone at Duke was ready to fight me?
No.
No. What do you think they did?
They told the police.
They told security. Yes.
My brother went to Duke.
Yes. So they told security. Security calls us to come down, and we say no. And then they said, either you come down or we're coming up and getting you. So we come down, and we're literally getting booed off the court, like booed. Now there's a UConn collective there, fans that are up in the upper deck, and I start posing like Hulk Hogan and cheering and saying Duke sucks and all this. Now the court is the stands are so close to the court.
I heard
to get off, you had to jump onto the court to leave the stadium, to leave the Cameron Fieldhouse. So we exit Cameron Indoor Stadium, and the security guard talks to us. He's like, well, so what are you guys doing? What are you doing here? How you're UConn fans? You can't be here. And we're like, why not? We have ticket. We got tickets like everyone else. He goes, show me your ID. And we showed them our fake IDs. Brian got IDs from all his friends. And they said, all right, well, I guess you can go back. So as soon as the door opened and everyone saw us coming back, boo! Everyone went nuts. So we asked the police. We were like, listen, how we're not going to be able to get back to our seats. Can you help us? And they're like, all right, follow us. So they were literally knocking people out of the way. And then we're pushing people out of the way as we climb up and go back to our seats. We continue to drink. And so everyone's furious that we're there and we're still talking trash. Oh, we're winning by 20. You guys are ranked ahead of us. What a joke. I thought Duke was a basketball school. You guys are just miserable. Like, oh, we're killing you. Like, you're not even on our level. All of you guys, all of you, I want money right now for gas. Pull out your wallets and put together some cash and pay for my gas money. That's all you are to me. You mean nothing. You're all losers. So the person sitting behind us finds the absolute vodka bottle and finds out we're drinking. He grabs it and holds it up like he's holding up the Lombardi trophy. They're drinking. They're drinking. And then they pass it down. They pass it all the way down to security. Now the girls are warming up for the second half. And the cops come back and they say we have to leave. Now, Uwe and Terry at this time are still on the football team. This was Ed and I had just finished our last season. Uwe and Terry were petrified. They're like, we can't, we're going to get arrested. They had winter workouts the next day. They had to be up at 6 a.m. on the Sunday. So the cops, you know, we have to come down and we get escorted out. The second half of the game, we have it on tape because our families filmed it. All you hear is the commentators saying, oh, we got a little bit of a delay going on in the start of the second half. Wow, it looks like there's some UConn fans sitting with the Cameron crazies. And they're like, oh my God, how did that happen? It's like, oh my, they're showing us walking down the stairs to leave, walking down the benches to leave. They're like, how? Look at the size of those guys. What are they doing here? How did they get in? What an embarrassment to Duke. So again, I get on the floor and now I become a pro wrestler again. And I love getting booed and I start flexing and cutting promos on people and heckling them. And we get escorted out. It was my friend Dan, who was in the Merchant Marine Academy, myself, and Ed, who got thrown out. Terry and Uwe quietly snuck out so they didn't get arrested. And they didn't arrest us. They threw us out of the game. But immediately our phones are ringing. They're like, where are you? Are you in jail? What happened? It was all over Sports Center. It was major college news.
Really?
Oh yeah, because no one had ever done it before. It was a huge embarrassment to Duke that a visiting team's fans got to sit with the Cameron crazies. And because of that, Duke changed their ticket policy. I am the reason Duke now changed their ticket policy. You have to have 2 forms of ID to get tickets to a Duke game.
Do you really?
Yes, you have to have a driver's license and a Duke ID to go to a Duke game. So Maria, you can see it on TV because they don't want to show us. They're filming the girls on the court, and all you see is Diana laughing her ass off, Maria laughing her ass off, Swin laughing her ass off, Gino's even laughing his ass off. So after the game, we wait outside. Who's the first person do you think that comes out to see us?
What year was this?
2003.
First person to come out to see you.
First person who knew we were there, who found out we were there and came out to
Lou Perkins.
Lou Perkins.
So I'm 3 for 3 today. Lou Perkins.
Lou Perkins comes out and he is laughing and he's like, whose idea was this? And I said, mine, sir. And he said, Steve, he said, I knew you took some shots to the head, but I didn't know you took that many. He said, you're out of your mind. He said, you could have started a riot. Like, you don't know what could have happened. Like someone could have stabbed you. I'm like, I think I'm pretty safe at Duke. He's like, can you guys get home okay? I was like, well, can we come on the charter flight? No, no, you can't. But we appreciate your support. You guys were great. And we won the game. It was an upset because we were 2 and they were 1. And that was my story.
Was that when they had, who was the girl that was really good?
Well, it was D. It was D and Sue.
No,
Sue
I'm saying, who did Duke had a girl that was like,
Elena Beard. Elena Beard. And she loved it. And she remembers it because we used to go to the WNBA All-Star games with D and Elena Beard. As soon as she saw me, she said, "Oh my God, it's you." I said, "Yes, it's me. It's me." She said. But anyway,
that's a great story. That's a great story.
I apologize. It took up a little extra time, but
do you want to get
Sean's coming on in a minute. Yeah, he just texted me. I just sent him the link. Okay. He said, "Oh yeah, he should be on." Hold on. But anyway, we didn't talk. We didn't talk any UConn football. Anyway.
I think that might have been the only time that Duke was ever really good was that year, right?
They had a couple good years, but yeah, that was their best. Like it came out of nowhere that they were good. But anyway, for people watching, we are doing a party the night before. We have 319 viewers now. See, it was all because of my story. We're doing a party before the game. Friday night, the 27th at 8:00, and it's at a place called. Sorry, I'm trying to find the name so I don't screw it up. Clask in Flanagan. Clask in Flagon. Cask in Flagon. KASKNFLAGON. Okay. It's 62 Brookline Ave in Boston, Massachusetts. We have food and drink, free food and drink or food and drink specials. It's for all of us to get together and enjoy.
This is the night before, right? This is the night before.
Yeah, we're doing it the night before. And then at 8:00 is the UConn, the C Club, their tailgate. So you have.
Are they going to have breakfast sandwiches?
Listen, if we get napkins, I'll be happy. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to have. It's 8:00 in the morning. No, it'll be good. It'll be good. Kevin said it'll be good. So I trust him. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Go to both.
Question is, what was I going to say?
Skylar Bell is going to play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he hasn't made. He hasn't.
Darrell Robinson is gone, I believe. Yeah. But Skylar's going to play, and hopefully we're able to retain him.
So let's talk about the transfer portal real quick, and hopefully we'll have.
Yeah. I got you.
So, and it's not just UConn, but like, did you see the case yesterday that came down with the JUCO with Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt? So where he is,
yes.
So
He
Diego
got
Tapia,
he sued.
he sued. So this would have been theoretically his fourth year playing. He would have been done, but because he wants to be able to make more money, obviously at Vanderbilt or wherever, he stands to make $1 million. He's
Right.
sued for eligibility to make JUCO not count towards his
Right.
eligibility, which is counterproductive to what it's been forever. So they ruled in an injunction that yes, it does not count.
He's right.
Let's finish this before you give your opinion. So then so he's going to get at minimum. Obviously, he can have 2 more years theoretically. So because he's not going to be a pro player, he's a little short as a quarterback, but he's a great college football quarterback.
Yeah,
great.
Led him to a great season.
Yes. So I think it's craziness. It kills high school recruiting. Why would anyone ever recruit a high school player now, ever, when they could come into transfer portal, go to college, come in transfer portal at lower level, or go to a JUCO and do that? Now, what were you gonna say? You think it's good?
You can let Sean on.
So yeah, good. You think it's good? What's up, Sean?
Sean, what's up, guys?
I know your kids that got an MRI. I apologize.
No, he's all good. We're all good.
All right.
We're all good. Ben's got to get on the scale right now.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they would do that and basically say that 2 years of junior college don't count because you can't make NIL money. So I can go to junior college, play 2 years. I can go to college, redshirt, and then I can play 4 more years. So you're basically saying I can play 8 years of college football.
Yes. And what about this?
That's asinine.
What if you went to prep school
and you PG?
Yeah. Then you go 2 years of JUCO.
Yeah.
Then you redshirt. Hey, hello.
Ben, say hi.
Hi.
The toughest kid around.
Yeah, we got to get Wade.
We're a little more on it.
Probably got you ever seen a wrecking ball, 100 pounds?
Yes. He loves football too, so I can't wait. I hope he next year he gets back on the field.
Ben, what do you think? You'll be back on the field next year? Yep. Tackling people?
Yeah, he's going to tackle people. But Sean, we had talked about this, the C Club, the NIL stuff, the transfer portal. And you had sent me the message showing the difference in money that is being made between schools. And you obviously 20 million was the top, and UConn is probably at 1.5. We definitely need to, like you said, for us to have success and sustained success, we have to have a plan, right?
I mean, you have to. At some point, you got to get it together.
Right. And it involves NIL. It involves the collectives. It involves the transfer portal. But if, getting people to join the C Club is step 1 out of probably step 100, right?
Well, I think it depends on kind of where you want to go, right?
Right.
What do we want to do? What's our priority, right?
Right.
So I think we just got to think about where we want to go. I'm just trying to, when I look at Bleeding Blue, right? There's a plan there, right?
Yes.
There's a plan, and to me, that's part of it, guys. Is you got to have a plan, right? You have to bend. You have to have a plan. You have to have people who can execute, right? And I got a lot of faith in Mike Burton, right? And
exactly,
and his ability to build structure, design something, and execute it, right?
Yes.
So now you kind of fast forward to the C Club, right?
Which I still don't know what it is.
Look, I think that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
In the long run, UConn should be running it, right? But unfortunately, I think what we've seen is UConn has never executed once on its ability to engage alumni, and specifically athletic alumni, right?
No.
So while I get the intention, it's just poorly executed, right? And
Should they
we're like 10
collaborate,
steps
you
behind.
think? Oh, I know we are.
Well, there's got to be a give, right? Like
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
someone has to give, right? And that's the problem. I think a lot of people are giving to Bleeding Blue
Yes.
because they don't want to
They
give to the foundation, right?
exactly.
They don't trust the foundation's execution, right?
Right.
So UConn's got to prove that they can execute, right?
And you said the
Before,
same thing. You don't know where the money's going, even when you do give to the foundation.
well, I mean, like when I've given, like you can kind of say, hey, I want to
I'd
give
like
it
it.
to, I want to give it to football, right?
Right. Right.
To get a little bit like, you can't say, hey, I want to buy pads, right?
Right. Right.
But at the end of the day, the problem that you face though is if I want to give, I can give to the foundation or to Bleeding Blue. They're two different entities, right? And I think,
Exactly.
as an organization and as fans, we got to find a way to get it to one entity, right?
That's what I was
Or
saying. They should be
collaboration.
one.
What
Yeah.
you need is a collaboration.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I agree with you, Coach, and because right now I think they're competing against each other.
They're
right?
double digits.
Like,
Yeah.
and how is that good for anyone, right?
It's
Like,
not good for anyone.
we're all trying to generate dollars. We're all trying to support this program, and you have two entities trying to raise money and competing against each other. I
Clashing.
just, and I think I feel bad for some of the folks at the foundation who are kind of caught in the middle of that. And I think
Yeah.
there's some really good people at the foundation, but I think part of the problem is there's been a ton of turnover over the years. Every year or two, there's someone new at the top who has their own ideas, right?
there
So
is. Okay.
there's no consistency. So I mean, I give credit to the initiative, right? Like
Yeah.
it's more than they've done in the past. But I think, one of the things that I've seen out of UConn is they have to control everything, right?
Completely.
And I get it, right? That's how you build a brand, is you control your brand and make sure you're using it the right way. But I think they're at a crossroads where they may need to kind of loosen up the reins, right?
Well, that's why I wanted Dave to tell you his thought, his idea of what he thinks is going to happen in the future to athletic departments.
Yeah, so there's two things, by the way, before I lose my train of thought of what you're saying. UConn's not the only one struggling. Alabama is actually struggling now.
I just saw that. You're right. Yep.
They're struggling to figure out how they want to handle it going forward.
Yep.
It's not that Alabama has a money issue. But they are asking people for money, by the way.
Yep.
So they are asking people for money, and their whole thing was like Nick Saban would never ask for money. Well, Nick Saban got out before that became really.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, the game's evolved since Nick Saban left. So
correct, correct. And so Alabama, it may be it's a different situation than UConn, but Alabama has their own things that they have to deal with respect to this. So it's not, like we have obviously bigger issues, but no one's immune to it. So that's why it really does require great leadership to get this thing done right. So my thing that I had talked about, and I saw it, I don't know if you saw it, but there's and somehow I wanted to post a video on it, but somehow I've lost the video. I don't know. I got to find it, dig in my archives. But there's a former NBA owner, billionaire, who talked about how eventually these colleges are going to be owned 51% or more by individual owners or corporations that are going to own the athletic department, like, let's say, University of Connecticut athletic department. And because he said there's a tangible value to the athletic departments now. They're bringing in X. You could run all kinds of ROIs on. You could get a business valuation for it. And then that person's going to go in and buy it, and he's going to put in that exact NFL or NBA type structure for each one of the departments. And basically the colleges won't have to worry about it anymore. All they'll have to worry about is taking the money and
revenue,
distributing it wherever they want to, which is, I think, in the long run, what they're going to want to do, because some of them are going to throw their hands up, right?
they
Because
can't
they're gonna be
manage
like,
it. Yeah.
I can't manage it. And it's going to, and the other point I had brought up was Larry Ellison, who owns Oracle, his fourth wife is a Michigan alum. And, it must be nice to have 4 wives, right? That's 200,
the big alimony check. Yeah, a lot of
alimony
out there.
When you're worth $236 billion, I'm sure it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, look,
bill
he's
here, a bill
had
there.
that fortune cut down 4 times, right? He's like 25. I mean, that's
He's still at 236.
Yeah,
he probably would be the first trillionaire, but he's been cut down a few times. So he talked about how they got the really big player Underwood to commit to them.
Right, Portnoy talked about that on his. Yeah.
Portnoy was part of it. Okay, so that's what she went to him, because Portnoy was contributing a certain amount of money to it, and then Larry Ellison contributed the large lion's share. And then he also threw in $150K per player at Michigan next year. I don't know if it'll be how many years, but for next year, he's throwing in $150K per player, right? Because they're in an arms race with Ohio State, right? So, but it trickles down to everybody, right? Because everybody's in that race. We're a little bit affected already. We lost Darrell Robinson. Now everyone's going to be affected. You're going to lose some players. Like, you can get angry about it. You're going to lose some good players. It's going to happen. Someone's going to get money. But, other guys are in the portal. We haven't been crushed yet by the portal, but we do have some good players that are in the portal.
And look, I think Jim Moore is handling the portal as best he can, right? I think he's doing a great job of managing it. And I think his attitude, I think it's easy to say, oh, you got to take a harder line with guys.
I know.
That's not the game now, right?
That's what I said.
I mean, whether you like it or not, you just, you got to accept that the game has evolved. And as a coach, he's, and for an older coach having been doing this, I'm really impressed that he was just kind of able to kind of turn on a dime and adapt.
Well, all you got to do is do nothing. So.
Because I sure wasn't. I was furious.
I don't call it adaptation. I call it just do nothing.
Coach, I want to come back to, I guess my question is, look, there's a lot of money to be made in college athletics. A lot of it is on the branding.
$1 billion industry.
And the, most of all the TV contracts. I just don't know how you sell 51% of a government-owned entity.
Because it's a public school.
That's what everybody has said.
And because like the one thing I'll tell you about private equity, they don't like getting into bed with government. That's the only saving grace, right? Like someone told me a long time ago, don't bet on government, right? Like if you're thinking that you're going to make money by doing something, like you can make money, that can't be your bet, right? Like you may get government contracts, blah blah blah, be able to sell something to the government, great. But long-term gains on government contracts are hard to come by because they're political, right? And because they're often decisions are made by uneducated people, right? Not to say there's not a ton of money to be made in pockets, right? Like, you can sell the rights to the TV deal, right? Percentage based.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
You sell that. I think there's at some point you may see an effort for unionization, right?
Yeah.
And some collective bargaining negotiation.
I think that would be huge.
Because technically you are starting to get employer, right?
That's what it is. Yeah. 100%.
So I think you'll see some of that. I definitely think, once you see private equity get into something, there's money to be made, right? Like they're now in medical practices. They're, if there's a continued margin that they can make, they'll find a way in. I just don't know how they would do it with a private university, no problem.
Not with the public, but yeah.
Because also, like with private equity, they also want to flip their investment in 3 to 5 years, right?
So is that why they bought into the NFL teams? You think they'll flip it?
By the way, I'm jumping off because I got to go home, Maria. I'm going to leave you guys on. You
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know because they bought several NFL teams, allowed private equity firms to buy in. So do you think that's why they bought in, to flip it?
Yeah, it's usually a 3 to 5. Usually you're in and you're sitting in for 3 to 5 years, but it's not. It's they're putting that in a gigantic mutual fund, right? They're usually putting that in funds, right? Okay. So they're not, and when they're investing, they're usually taking minority stakes, Steve.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So they're not usually taking.
They took 3. They took 3 to 5%.
Right, and so if they can grow it, I got to stop you though because Ben did have some feedback for you. Ben,
right.
Ben, can you tell Steve what you said about Hulk, about his finisher?
It's not the best.
You're right. He has a horrible finisher. You don't like the leg drop. I know. He should have done something better. He should have done something
What are the
better.
other ones that you were talking about?
Power slam.
Yes, I love the power slam.
What was it? The F5?
F5.
Brock Lesnar, the F5. Yes.
Because we were talking about Hulkamania before I came on. And
yes.
He was like, he's like, I like Hulk Hogan, but I don't
like his finisher.
He's like, I just think the leg drop could be better.
He's right. He's right. The leg drop's horrible. Everyone hated him for doing the leg drop. Yeah, that's good that he likes the F5. That's hilarious.
He does. Or the
RKO. Yes, the RKO. Yeah. Randy Orton.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. You got your kid on the right sport.
Yeah, we do.
But so do you think there's any chance that the C Club and Bleeding Blue would merge? Or do you think there's too many
possible. Hey,
chefs in the kitchen?
I got to come right back to you, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, we're back on the Steve Cully show, and Blumpkins and blowjob time. So, the last Blumpkin I got, I think, was in 2003. It wasn't very pleasant. The BJs are normally better. Anyway, so we're talking UConn football, we're talking NIL, and talking about the transfer portal. The biggest concern I have is long-term stability. I don't think that the model we have is going to be sustainable for the next 5 years. And that's what scares the hell out of me. It does. It scares the hell out of me. Because all of us, every UConn alum who played sports, put their heart and soul into football when nothing was guaranteed. And now we're on the verge of possibly dropping down, possibly just being a feeder program. And I am disgusted by that. It enrages me. And, it irritates Dave that I say inappropriate things about it. But it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I took it on the chin for 2 years at UConn. I got my ass kicked. I got my ass kicked. We played Virginia Tech. I pooped my pants at pregame. I was so nervous during one-on-ones. We're in all white. See the picture in the back behind me? I'm wearing a different pair of pants because I pooped the first one. In one-on-ones, my pregame meal was always spaghetti, red sauce, and Tabasco sauce. And my line coach, Norris Wilson, hated it, but because it smelled, but I ate it anyway. And during pregame warmups, I shit my pants, and I had to go change them. 1999, 2000, 2001, very rough years. That was part of the foundation. But Randy Edsall had a plan, and that was he knew we were not going to bring in the top recruits at the University of Connecticut. He knew he wasn't going to get 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, 3-star recruits. He knew we would be lucky to get 2-star recruits. And then what did he do? He developed players. He went out and he developed players. He redshirted them. He put them in the weight room and he worked with them and he coached them and he made them better. Day in and day out, he made them better. And that's why we had the success that we did from 2002 to 2010. Because Randy Edsall knew how to build a successful program at the University of Connecticut. He knew that we weren't getting the best players, and he knew that it was going to be a development project. He knew that when he took a freshman, they probably were not going to make an impact until their redshirt sophomore year or their redshirt or their true or redshirt freshman year. He knew it was going to take time. And that is why I am loyal to him and beloved to him, because I believe in the way he did things. He had morals, he had principles. He put a value on education. Education always came first. No matter how bad we were playing, no matter how well we were playing, he cared about our education and leaving with degrees. How many college coaches do that right now? How many college coaches really give a flying fuck if their kid leaves with a college degree? None. I don't think any. Because in this model, it's about money. And to a college coach, you're a piece of meat. You're a piece of meat or you're a piece of shit. And that's what's so disappointing. Randy Edsall won football games because he had principles. He had a couple major principles that he knew would make UConn successful. One, run the football. Don't go in the shotgun. Don't try to run the spread. Don't throw it around. We can't do it. We play at Renshaw Field in October, November. It's cold. It's windy. You can't execute that type of offense. So you better be able to run the goddamn football, or else you're going to be in for a long day. Run the football. Two, play tough defense. We had tough, physical defenses all the way through. From my man Greg Smoot, Sean Mulcahy, Uwe Sunday, Jamar Wilkins, Jamal Lundy, Razul Wallace, Uwe Asunday, my good friend, my best friend, Uwe Asunday, Terry McLaury, one of my best friends, Tyler King. He's a lunatic. He's out of his mind. He's probably got more CTE up the ass than anyone. He's probably had more rusty trombones than anyone. But Tyler King was a player. And Tyler King was developed. Tyler King went to prep school and came to UConn and redshirted. And by the time he was a senior, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was an incredible pass rusher. We had Alfred Fincher. You want to talk about dedication? You want to talk about desire, perseverance, loyalty? Alfred Fincher is all of that. He was a man's man. He was a speeding bullet, and he would knock the hell out of you as a linebacker. He was one of the best linebackers in UConn history, and he was an all Big East player. And he came from Massachusetts, and nobody wanted him. But Randy took him, and Randy developed him. Maurice Lloyd. I had him on Husky Talk. Great guy. Maurice Lloyd comes to UConn. Guess what? He's playing as a true freshman. Because of his passion, his enthusiasm, his love for football, and then his passion, love, enthusiasm, loyalty to UConn. He had loyalty to UConn. It's called having loyalty to the name on the front of your jersey instead of the name on the back. And how many players these days have those values? Not many. Jamal Lundy started as a freshman. He came in, he got thrown right into the fire, and you know what? He didn't blink. He wasn't always perfect. He was not always perfect. He'd get beat in coverage. He'd miss a tackle. But you know what? He was 18 years old, and he was out there playing against grown-ass men. Greg Smoot was the same way. Came in, 240 pounds. He's playing defensive end. And he was a linebacker in high school. He's down playing defensive end. And he had success because let me tell you something. Nobody on the defensive line that I played against played harder than Greg Smoot. I dreaded every day when I had to play against Greg Smoot because he never took a play off. I took lots of plays off because I was a lazy cone. He didn't. Greg Smoot was probably with the highest motor that anyone ever had. Roy Hopkins, defensive back, phenomenal athlete. I ended up being a 5-year starter because he got hurt and then redshirted, but he started in 5 years. He was an amazing corner. And if you go back and you watch our game against the University of Miami, Roy Hopkins covered and locked down Andre freaking Johnson. Andre freaking Johnson, who is in the NFL Hall of Fame, I believe. Roy Hopkins. Jason Dalla Selva. Jason Dalla Selva was a crazy motherfucker. He had no fear in the world. The first play against Miami, we took the ball. It was kicked off probably 10 yards deep into the end zone. Jason Dalla Selva, he didn't give a shit. He brought it out. He ran it out. Took it out of the end zone. Didn't take a knee, didn't take a touchback. He wanted to set the tone that we were coming and we were going to be for real. And he ran that ball, and he probably got only 10 yards and got the shit knocked out of him, but he got right up and he said, bring it. And that's what I say. Don't sing it, bring it. And if we want to be successful at the University of Connecticut, bleeding blue for good has to matter. And not enough people are donating. Not enough people are giving. And Mike Burton always answers the call. When Mike Burton is donating a third of the money that's raised in the collective, something is fucking wrong. And it's a shame on us as UConn alumni for not giving more to the program. And I say that even about myself. I wasn't giving a dime. But I care. Mike Burton got me invested again in UConn football. I care. And I've started to give. Now, I can't give $100,000, $10,000. I give whatever I can. I give whatever I can. I'm a former drug addict. I have one leg, and I live with my parents. And I make money podcasting. So I'm not exactly a millionaire. I've had a rough few years and fucked up. I hit a tractor trailer last year at this time, and should have been dead, and had wished I had died. I don't know how I survived, but I did. I've been through it all. I lived through a burst appendix. But I'm invested in this program. I'm going to do everything I can to help this program. I want to help the C Club raise money. I want to help Bleeding Blue raise money. And we have strength in fucking numbers. Nobody has more alumni than UConn. 20,000 fucking kids go to UConn. Donate money to Bleeding Blue for good. And don't donate $100. Don't give $100. Don't give $200. Give some real fucking money. Everyone else does. If Rutgers, if Syracuse can raise $7 million, Why can't we? Why are we the cheapskates? We have amazing, successful, powerful alumni. I am a nobody. I am not successful. I do not have those resources. I do not have that kind of money. But there's people out there who do. And they have to step up and contribute for us to get into a conference and have success. That's all we need, okay? We get into a conference, we get television revenue money, up to $20 million. Not only is that going to fund football, that's going to fund every sport we have. It's a trickle-down effect. And everyone complains about football. Guess what? It all starts with football. Football is the most important sport at any college. In Connecticut, I'm sorry. You can cry, you can whine, you can bitch, you can moan. Love basketball all the fuck you want. But guess what? Unless you start caring about football, unless you make a statement and contribute to football, basketball is going to go down the tubes. Because the revenue they receive from their Big East television contract is Walmart greeter money, basically, compared to football. Football in college is $1 billion industry. Do you hear me, people? Do you hear me? $1 billion industry. $1 billion. College basketball is not. The only time college basketball makes money is during March Madness. That's their Super Bowl. That's all they have. The rest of the year is bullshit. Nobody's watching UConn versus Xavier. Nobody's watching UConn versus Butler. Nobody's watching UConn versus DePaul. You know what? Because they all suck. They all suck. And it's the same thing with the women. You guys fought to get out of the AAC or whatever and thought the Big East was going to be our savior. Well, thank you so fucking much. You put us in the Big East and now we have dog shit. Coach Hurley can go out and win 10 national championships. It's not going to change our financial situation. It's not going to make us more money because nobody donates. Everyone's cheap. Nobody gives. You want to donate? Go to www.bleedingblueforgood.org and give some fucking money. And if you do that, we'll win. If you do that, it'll make a difference. If you do that, we'll get into a conference. If you do that, our worries are gone because we'll have $20 million of television revenue every year coming in to pay our athletes. We'll have our NIL money coming in every year to pay our athletes. And we will not be a goddamn embarrassing independent program. You know how embarrassing it is to be an independent? That means nobody wants you. Nobody wants you. And that's what we are in football. We're an independent. It's us and Notre Dame. Even UMass. UMass is going into the MAC. The MAC. They're taking the MAC. They couldn't get anything else, so they're going to the MAC. UConn, you want UConn to go to the Sun Belt? You want UConn to go to Conference USA? That's not going to do shit. UConn needs to go to the Big 12 or the ACC, and that's what they're holding out for. That is what they need, and that is what they're holding out for. And we are capable of having success in either conference. And the way that happens is everyone who watches our programming, every alumni, everyone who went to UConn steps up and just gives some money. Because all I said, it's strength in numbers. Do the fucking math. 20,000 people went to go to UConn each year. 20,000. If 20,000 people give $1,000, if 20,000 people give $500 a month, if 20,000 people give $100 a month, give something. Every dollar counts. Every cent counts. I don't think you people understand the sense of urgency that's behind this. Yeah, we went 8-4 this year. We went 8-4. We went 8-4 because we played a schedule that was inferior. Instead of going and playing and getting destroyed by the Tennessees, the Michigans, the Clemsons, we were smarter and we went out and we played schools that we could compete with. And that's what made the difference. That's what made the difference. And we didn't get the big paydays. When we went and played Michigan, we got millions of dollars. When we went and played Tennessee, when we went and played Clemson, we would get millions of dollars. They'd pay us millions of dollars to come in and beat the shit out of us. That's how it was. Now, we didn't do that. And as a result, we went 8-4. We should have won the Syracuse game. We should have won the Wake Forest game. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So that proves to me, Syracuse, a 9-3 program with a transfer quarterback, Kyle McCord, who was a Heisman Trophy candidate. We could have beat them. We had them beat. If that first drive doesn't happen, if that fake punt doesn't happen, we beat Syracuse. So we have proven that we can compete with the best of the best with a 9-3 ACC team. Duke, 26-21. We were that close to upsetting Duke. So it's up to you people. I can't do it alone. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. I'm a podcaster. As a player, I was a glorified cone with long arms who got in the way. I either got in the way or I tripped right and fell on the ground. You can ask Tommy Collins, ask Rashad Drayton, ask anyone who played next to me. Their toenails are mashed because I used to step on their feet all the time because I was so unathletic and uncoordinated. Rashad Drayton, I don't think, has a toenail because of me. That's how good I was. So make a decision. Make a decision. Do you want UConn athletics to be relevant? Do you want UConn athletics to be successful? Do you want UConn athletics to be a national powerhouse? Or do you want UConn athletics to go quietly and disappear into the night? Do you want UConn athletics to go and be an FCS school? Do you want UConn sports to be a Division III program? Because that's what's going to happen if all of us don't contribute. Every single one of us. We got a free education from UConn. We have a responsibility to keep this program going. Randy Edsall, Lou Perkins, Skip Holtz did not do this for nothing. They bent over backwards to get us to Division I. Shane Stafford, my God, the best quarterback, one of the best in UConn history, got hurt, concussions, injuries, played through all of them because he knew the importance. He knew that the team comes fucking first. And that is the problem with our alumni. Right now, the team is not coming first. We all are. It's about us. We're selfish. We got to spend thousands of dollars on Christmas presents. We got car payments. We got cell phones. We got cable, this and that. You know what? We can all live a little bit less extravagantly and give a little bit more to Bleeding Blue for Good so we can have a successful football program. Otherwise, mark my word, 5 years from now, we won't have one because the current model today is not going to last. There's no way. There's no way this model is going to last. And that's what you people don't realize. You take it for granted. You take UConn football for fucking granted, and this is why we're where we are. This is why our top players are going into the transfer portal, because we don't have the money to pay them. And we don't have the money to pay them because people aren't donating. And that is Steve Cully unhinged. That is Steve Cully with a rant. That is Steve Cully cutting a promo on every single UConn alumni saying, you're either with us or you're against us. Go to the goddamn website and donate. Go to the website and donate. And I'll go streaking at Fenway Park if enough people donate. If we get $10,000, $20,000 in donations by next Saturday, I will sit naked during the game at Fenway Park. Or I'll at least sit shirtless with shorts on. How about that? That is my promise to you. If we can raise over $20,000, $10,000, come on. Everyone has more money than that. I want $20,000 or more. If you raise $20,000 or more by next Saturday, I will sit in 24-degree weather in shorts with no shirt for the entire game. That is my promise to you. I will do that. I will do whatever it takes because Mike Burton has broken his back. His team has broken his back asking people for money. He just wanted $100 from someone. Someone said, no, I can't do it. I can't give you $100. Are you fucking kidding me? You can't give $100? That's pathetic. That's pathetic. You can't contribute $100 to Mike Burton, who has his own business, who works 40 other jobs, and who is doing bleeding blue out of the goodness of his fucking heart because he cares, because he doesn't want to see UConn's legacy be for nothing? How dare you? How dare you? How do you look at yourself in the mirror if you can't give Mike Burton $100? That's what I'm pissed off about. So I'll tell you right now, and I'll tell Mike Burton this too. Mike Burton has a track record of all donations. From now, let's see, it's December 20th. From December 20th to December 28th, if we raise over $20,000, I will sit in my underwear at Fenway Park for the bowl game. I'll dump ice water on my head. I'll take a shit and throw it on the field. What do you want me to do? I'll do anything I can to get money for this program so we can be successful. And I've gone on long enough. So, this has been Husky Huddle. Coach Schuman, the best influencer out there. And by the way, we need some sponsors. How about step up and do that? Every sponsor that we've had has been successful. You're getting 1.06 subscribers a month that watch our programming. We get 70 million views on average a month on this YouTube channel. The ROI for podcasting on average is $15. For every dollar you spend on advertising, you get $15 back in return. And that's over a base of at least a 3-month period. You may not see it the first month. You'll see it the second month. You'll see it the third month. And from the third month to the 12th month, you'll see up to $20 or more. Podcasting is the best form for marketing, promotions, and advertising. It's better than radio. It's cheaper than radio. It's got a much farther reach than radio. Television has gone by the wayside. Nobody watches it, and it's expensive. And there's streaming services. So podcasting is the best way to advertise and promote your business. And I will go to war for you to promote your business. Any one of my sponsors, I go to war for them. They get live reads, they get commercials, videos, they get to come on whenever they want. That's what you will get if you want to be an advertiser or sponsor with Coach Schuman's Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. And by the way, go on and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, because we have the best content out there. And UConn doesn't realize that. UConn spends their money on Locked On. UConn has Store Central. Guess what? Guess what? I'm more entertaining than anyone on Store Central. I'm better than anyone on Store Central. Much better. We give you better analysis. We give you better guests. We give you Joe D'Ambrosio. We give you Maria Conlon. Those are the type of guests we bring on. I had Jordan Todman on last week. I had Andre Dixon on the week before. We give you the best. Store Central gives you shit. So join us. You're either with us or you're against us. And if UConn doesn't want to take advantage of this platform, 70 million views, you don't think that can add people to the C Club? You don't think that's going to increase donations to the UConn Foundation? You don't think that's going to increase donations to Bleeding Blue for Good? Yeah. You know what you can do? You can suck it. This has been Husky Huddle. I'm Steve Cully, and I'm the goddamn best podcast host in the fucking universe, whether you like it or not. And when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life, and go to www.bleedingblueforgood.org and donate some fucking money so we can get into a conference and have success.